Hello everyone, welcome to Tech TBA. In today's video, we're going to talk about hybrid columnar compression in Oracle Exadata. We'll also talk about what are the types of compression and how it is used in the real time, and what are the scenarios you have to go for the compression and what type of compression to choose from. Let's get started. So we have two famous types of compression that is there in the market. First one is a row major compression and the other one is column major compression, which is also called as a columnar compression. As everybody aware, the data inside the table that gets stored as a rows and columns. In the row major compression, the duplicate values within the particular blocks that is getting eliminated. So basically whatever the data inside the particular block that is getting analyzed, and then whatever the duplicate values that will be removed, and then it gets compressed and the space is getting released. The same will be updated in the data block header as well. The row based compression is introduced in the version of 11G and it was moved as an advanced table compression in the version of 12C. The problem with the row based compression is it is best suited for the direct path write operations. In case if you are using the other type of write operations, it is not best suited. The other type of compression is the columnar compression, in which the data is stored as the columnar format itself, so that the duplicate values are created with the pointers. The drawback of the columnar compression is it is not best suited for the frequent DML operations like insert, update or delete operations. We will just see a quick example of how the row based and the columnar based compression that works. Say for example, you have an employee table in which you can see most of the values in the department or the role or gender or even the location that will be repetitive. For example, if you take a location, it's Dallas, Chicago and New York. Those are the three locations that is the distinct values, and rest of the values will be duplicated. In case of a row-based storage, whatever the data that gets stored within the particular data block, that will be deleted. For example, inside the data block 1, you have 3 Dallas values. So the 2 Dallas values that will be removed, and then only one entry that will be kept. Through that way, the space is getting released. But the drawback of this one is, even though you have the value of a Dallas in the data block 2, that will be still retained as one of the values, because this compression will not work across the data block. When we talk about columnar based compression, the data gets stored as a column based. For example, if you take a location again, it's a Dallas, Chicago and New York. Those are the three values that is getting stored, and then rest of all the rows it is getting as a pointer. But in case if whenever we do any frequent transactions like a row ID update or a frequent DML operations, this is the problem with the performance and all the other operations with respect to the columnar storage. So it is not best suited for our OLTP databases. To get the best out of both the shores, Oracle introduced hybrid columnar compression. They kept the same basic operations of the traditional row storage. Along with that, they have created something called as a compression unit. So basically, at the column level, whatever the duplicate values that are found, that are getting pivoted, and then those are removed as part of a compression unit. The best thing about the compression unit is it works across the data blocks. So even though the data is split across multiple data blocks, the best compression that is achieved. The hybrid columnar compression, that is HCC, that was introduced for Oracle Exadata. Later, after 12.1 database version, it was introduced with other storage of Oracle like Oracle FS1, Oracle ZFS, as well as Pillar Axiom storage devices. So the main feature of hybrid columnar compression is it is a combination of row and columnar based storage systems. So the data is getting pivoted to store in the columnar format so that the duplicates are removed, and then it is pivoted by using a unit called compression unit. Usually in the traditional row based storage system, we can able to achieve only 4x to 6x of compression, whereas with the hybrid columnar compression, we can able to achieve as an average of 10x compression ratio. So here is another schematic view of row and columnar based compression. So you can see that traditionally the data is getting stored as a row, record 1, record 2, record 3, record 4. So all the column values and everything that is stored sequentially. Whereas in the columnar format, it is a purely a column based data. So all the column based records like R1, R9, R17 and R25, that is getting stored inside the columnar storage. Same way the R2, R10 and R18, that is getting stored over here. But the problem with the columnar based is we are not able to sequentially read or write the data into it like a frequent DML operations. So here is a view of the hybrid columnar compression, whereas you have a block header and then the compression unit header, which stores the corresponding pointers, and then you have the data that is getting stored in the columnar format. So even though the data is stored as a row-based format, the compression unit that works on top of a traditional row-based storage systems that improves the compression ratio. So what is a compression unit? The compression unit is a logical structure that spans across multiple data blocks so that it understands the values of each and every data block, and then it is very well able to remove the duplicates across multiple data blocks. And it negates the disadvantage of pure columnar format, which is a frequent DML operations that cannot be performed on a columnar based storage. So even though you have enabled an advanced row compression of the blocks, that still resides in the hybrid columnar compression of a compression unit. So it gives more and more advantages. The hybrid columnar compression comes with two variants. First one is a data warehouse and the other one is an archive. In data warehouse, you have two options. One is compress for query low and the other one is compress for query high. In case of compress for query low, the target compression unit is 32 KB of size, which achieves 4x of compression ratio. The compression algorithm used is LZ0, which is best suited for the performance of the database. It takes very little amount of CPU for compress and decompress operations, so the best performance of the database is achieved. The second option is a compress for query high, where we are targeting 32 to 64 KB of target compression unit, which provides 6x of compression ratio. The compression algorithm used is a CLIP compression, which provides a decent performance as well as higher compression ratio. In the archive scenario, again you have two options. One is archive low and other one is archive high. In the archive low, the target compression unit is 32 to 256 KB of size, which can yield up to 7x of compression ratio. In archive low, CLIP compression that is being used, which provides decent speed as well as a better ratio than the query high. So it is also a balanced one. The last option is an archive high, which is targeting for 256 KB of target compression unit, which can yield up to 12x of compression ratio. Here the compression algorithm is BEZ2, which takes very long time to compress and decompress the data. So this archive high is highly suitable for very little amount of select operation and almost zero DML operations on the particular table. So this is a kind of a tape storage that is very optimized for the space oriented data. Now we have talked about the compression types, which is query low, query high, archive low and archive high. Now you might have a question on how do I choose the correct compression type for my type of tables. That is purely depends on how the table is being accessed by the application. In case if the table falls under the hard data category, that means that there is a frequent amount of select as well as the DML operations like insert, update and delete. For example, the transaction table, which is highly OLTP in nature. So for such amount of tables, don't go for the HCC. Rather, you can choose Oracle row store compression, which comes in two flavors, which is basic and advanced. Through this, you can achieve up to 4x of compression. Remember, the advanced row store compression needs a different license, whereas the basic comes included in the enterprise edition. In case if your data falls under the warm data, that means that there is a frequent amount of select that is being performed, but the DML operations is very limited. For example, like an log data or audit data, where you need to do a frequent select, but the amount of modification like in update or delete, that will be very less. For such amount of data, you can just choose either a query low or the query high, depends on the nature of the data. The last option is a cold data, where it's almost like an archive where you don't have much of a select statement, and there is almost zero DML operation that is performed on these particular tables. Like you want to keep the audit data for the compliance purpose for up to 5 years or 10 years. In such cases, you can just archive those data into a cold data. For such tables, you can just choose either archive low or archive high. Just one point to notice, in case of archive high, the algorithm is different and it takes a very long time to uncompress and compress the data. So the operations on the archive high should be very, very limited. Now we will look at how to create or migrate the data from the normal storage to hybrid columnar compression. In case if you are creating a new table, then you can specify the compress for query high or query low or archive high or archive low option when you create a table. So based on this compress for parameter, it will choose the appropriate HCC compression type and the different algorithm that will be used. So it is like create table, table name, and then you just include the fields and whatever you want, and then choose the compress for query high as an at the end. In case if you have some existing tables in the normal storage which you want to do a compression, then you can just use dbms underscore redefinition, which is an online redefinition tool. The advantage of online redefinition is the tables and the partitions will be available throughout your compression operations. So there will not be any impact to the applications or the end users during the operations. And the existing data and the ongoing the future data, that is also compressed into HCC. All the indexes and the partitions, that is also getting updated with the HCC during this online redefinition. But the one problem with that is, in case if you have a global index on a partition table, then that will be marked as an invalid, which you need to do a rebuild after the activity. The second option we have is an alter table move. So during this particular operations, there is an exclusive lock that will be placed on the particular table. So you can continue to do the read operations, but the DML operations will be blocked. So this is best suited for the partition tables where you have very limited amount of operations that is for those particular partitions. And then it also invalidates the indexes. So obviously you need to rebuild those indexes after the operations. So basically whenever you create a table, you can just create as a compress for query high. Otherwise, you can just use an online redefinition or alter table move to migrate the data from the normal storage to hybrid columnar compression storage. We have the built-in dbms underscore compression package that comes with a variety of options. One important option is the get compression ratio utility. That will be useful when you want to make a decision to migrate your existing data into HCC. So for the different types of compression types, it will give you the amount of storage that can be saved. So based on the compression ratio and the storage that is getting saved, you can choose the compression type. So you can use dbms underscore compression dot get compression ratio to get the amount of storage as well as the benefit after you migrate to HCC. To summarize our discussion, we have two types of compression in the market. First one is row major and second one is a column major. In case of a row based compression, the duplicate values within the particular data block that is getting deleted and the space is getting released. In case of a column based data, the data is stored as a columnar values itself. So we are able to achieve high compression ratio in the columnar compression. To get the best out of these two, we are using a hybrid columnar compression, which is a combination of row and columnar storage. So the same amount of row storage that is being maintained, along with that, there is a compression unit that is getting introduced on top of it, which pivots the duplicate data across the multiple blocks so that we can able to achieve up to 10x of compression. So we have four types of hybrid columnar compression, which is query low, query high, and archive low and archive high. In query low, the algorithm is LZ0 algorithm with 4x of compression ratio. And for the query high, we are using zlib with 6x of compression ratio. And archive low is using clib with 7x of compression ratio. Archive high is using BZ2 compression algorithm with 12x of compression ratio. So how to choose the appropriate compression type is based on your workload. So if in case if the data is very hot, then stay with the row store compression, which you can achieve up to 4x of compression. In case if you have a warm data, that is having a frequent select operation and very limited DML operations, then you can go for the query low or the query high. In case if it is for an archive purpose where there is no DML and a very limited amount of select operations, then you can go for archive low or archive high compression types. You can create the new tables using compress for the appropriate type when inside your create table statement, so that it will choose a hybrid columnar compression. In case if you want to move the existing data, then you have two options. Either you can use online read operation or you can go for alter table move operation. In case of an online read operation, the data and the operations that will still ongoing, there will not be any end user impact, and the data will be converted into HCC once the operation is completed. In case of an alter table move, the data is only allowed for select operation, whereas the DML operations will be blocked until the operation gets completed. So I'm hopeful that we learned something new today, and we will continue to talk about the other Oracle Xarata features in our upcoming videos. So until then, please like this video, and very important to subscribe TechDBA and put your comments in the YouTube comments, and also you can just connect me with my Facebook page as well as my blog site and LinkedIn sites. And in case if you have any training requests, please write to me. We will respond to that. Thank you.